And today we are starting with system databases in SQL Server. In our earlier classes, we have discussed about log file architecture, about the VLFs and the number of VLFs and how many VLFs will be created depending upon the size of a log file and the status of log file active, passive, and also data delayed transactions, data delayed durability, data delayed transaction durability, a wait time with respect to log write, and what is the architecture of log file, the blocks in it, and the transactions in it, and how does a log file behaves when it is having intermingled transactions in it. We have discussed all these things in our earlier session, right? Sorry. In our earlier session, we have discussed all these kind of things. Okay, and now log file architecture. We had seen all these things, right? The transaction log file and architecture, active VLF, inactive VLF, unused VLF, and how does transaction log behaves like cyclic and wrap up file. It will be wrap up in the manner, and the VLF architecture like the blocks and the intermingled transactions in it. Likewise, how it behaves when the transaction is committed, and how does the log file get flushed out. How it behaves when there is a rollback transaction. Well, if there is any transaction to roll back, and what are the issues when what are the issues that we will face with respect to log file, like uh, what we should do is the
Excuse me,
log
bro.
file.
Hello?
Yeah, yeah.
Hello?
Mm.
I lost your screen.
Okay, okay. Okay, okay, sir. And then uh, we can now we have also discussed that what happens when the log file fills and log file gets filled, and the issues that which we face whenever the log file gets filled, and what are the scenarios that we have to do. Means like the root cause, what we have to check initially, what is the situation that log file get filled, and what are the causes, root causes, and how can we rectify the issue. And we have discussed all these things in our previous session. And with respect to recovery models, we have discussed like how does a log file behaves with respect to each and every recovery model, and working with VLFs like DBCC login info to retrieve the log file information, like, and also how can we protect the log file and the new features in 2014 and 2016. We have discussed all these things in our earlier session, and today we are going to discuss about the system databases in SQL Server. Actually, what are these system databases initially? System databases are the databases that are created by the SQL Server whenever we install the SQL. Whenever the installation gets completed, these system databases will be created automatically in our SQL Server. What are the types of system databases that we are having? First one is master database, and the second one we can say it as MSDB, and model database, and MDB, and resource database. Another one we are having distribution database. We are also having distribution database. Uh, as of now, exclude this one. I'll also explain about it. And there is another way that when does the distribution database gets created? It will not get created when the SQL Server installation gets completed. It's not like whenever we install the SQL Server, it will not get created. But there is another scenario, like when does a distribution database gets created in the SQL Server. starting with master database. In master database, it contains the information to what is all the system databases. The five important points that we have to uh, five important points that we should know about the system databases is system databases contains metadata. Nothing they contain, only the metadata. But the metadata, one system database contains one portion of metadata, and another system database contains another portion of metadata, and likewise. This MSDB contains the information about some things, and master database contains the information about some things, and model database contains the information about some things. Likewise, that is the case. Okay, and whenever we start a SQL server, system databases will be created by the SQL server itself. Okay, and here these are all the default databases. System databases are default databases. Whenever we install any SQL server, these databases gets created automatically. Means like see some portion related to master database. What type of metadata it contains, we will see here. Like the master database contains the information to start the SQL server. It means like the boot up information it contains. The master database contains the boot up information. Due to this reason, we should, means like in backup restore we'll be discussing, we should restore the master database very frequently. Okay. If a master database, and one more point we have to consider here is, if the master database gets corrupted, our SQL server will not uh, start again. It will be automatically stopped because it contains the configuration information also. The configuration files information will be stored in the master database, and it contains which it also contains the information which is required to start the SQL server, like the login name, system names, database memory allocation, CPU allocation, and all other configuration informations of the of our SQL server, like server name, and all these things will be the complete boot up or startup information will be stored in the master database. And we can also see, sorry, let me start this. And this is what about master database. We can also see like the database ID of master will be one always. I'll show you how can we see this master database ID of any database. I'll show you. Sorry, I'm trying to start this SSM. Yes, got started. Okay. Mm. See here, and I'll show you. See, select underscore ID from sys.data ss. Correct syntax. Sorry. So, okay. See, name comma asterisk. Here we can see each and every database that which we create in a SQL server will be having one ID. We can see our master database is of ID 1. Okay. And while coming to this MSDB, it contains the information about the jobs that which we create in our SQL server, the maintenance plan, SQL server agent information, and the statistics information, alerts information, audits information, all the entire automation information will be stored in this MSDB database. The entire automation information, it means like the operations, what are the operations that are performed by the SQL Server. And it also, as we have discussed now, it also contains the information like with respect to SQL Server agent, DB mail configuration, schedule, job, service broker, mm, log shipping. You are not aware of this. I availability on this, like maintenance plans, and all these things information will be stored in MSDB. In a single point, we can remember like MSDB contains the information which is related to the automation. The complete automation information is stored in MSDB, and the complete startup or boot up information, configuration files information will be stored in master database. And the next one is model database. Model database, what it will do is, whenever I write the, or whenever I try to create a database, like C create database sample, let us see. Whenever I try to create this database, whenever I try to create this database, what it will do is, it will take the model database as a template. Whatever the features that model database is having, this sample one database, the user create a database, will take that model database as a template or as a photocopy or as a xerox copy, whatever we can say. In the same format, this sample one database will be getting created. Means like the log file size, collision settings, all the information will be saved as with respect to the model database. Same. That is what model database. And the tempdb, what tempdb contains is, whenever I write a query like select star from employee table order by ENO, in this case, what it will do is, SQL Server, it will temporarily create some uh, order by ENO. If it is ascending order, it will temporarily create some temporary tables inside the SQL Server before retrieving to us, and it will retrieve to us. It will create inside the SQL Server, by the SQL Server. SQL Server itself will create some temporary tables to retrieve the information according to our query. In those cases, these temporary tables will be created in the tempd. It means the temporary storage information will be created in the temporary tempdb. It means like it is not permanent in nature, just it is temporary in nature. Whenever we start or we restart the SQL Server, again tempdb will be created newly. It means like, uh, I did not restart my services from last 2 months or 1 month. Okay, today I have restarted my SQL Server services. Then what it happens is, whenever I restart, I stop and start this SQL Server services, tempdb will be created newly every time when I restart the service. Okay, just it's only for a temporary basis. It means like, whenever we write joins or any some complex queries, like, I'm having a table, I'm just filtering those rows where employee salary greater than 5,000. I want to retrieve the information like whose salary is greater than 5,000, who resides in Hyderabad, and whose name starts with A, whose name starts with S. If I want to retrieve this information by applying some filters, sometimes we will be applying like group by having clause, order by clause, we will be writing joins, and all this. What SQL Server will do is, before entering the information to us, SQL Server itself will do some analysis and itself stores the data temporarily, and then it will retrieve the information to us. That is what the tempdb contains. Only the temporary information will be stored in the tempdb. And another important point in tempdb is, whenever we start the services, a new tempdb will created by default. All the old information in the temporary tables that which are related to joins or where condition or group by clause or having clause, that which we are having in our tempdb in the before restarting the SQL Server services, all this information will be flushed out from TempDB, and the new TempDB will be created after restarting the SQL Server services every time when we do the restart. Okay. And what is this resource DB? Resource DB is it means like this is a CBA database. Means like what we say. We are having a CBI people in police department. They will not be figured out anywhere like I'm CBI, like wearing some the police people like some uniform or likewise. It's just like a hidden database. We cannot view this database. Microsoft also is having some hierarchy. uh, why this database should be hidden and why it was created, because and it was hidden again, and it cannot be seen. Actually, we cannot see the resource database as we can see the MSDB or model or MDB database or master DB database in our SSMS. Actually, uh, this resource DB is a hidden database. It contains the information like it contains the information like patching related information or upgrade related information. It contains whenever we do some patching, those modifications, whenever we apply some service packs or cumulative updates or uh, any version changes or build numbers or something, whenever we do this kind of information, the resource database will modify those kind of information and stores the information with respect to patching service packs or updates, cumulative updates, or any version changes that we are modifying with respect to the SQL Server. All this information will be stored in the resource database. Actually, this was introduced in 2000, from 2005 onwards only we are having this resource database, and in our earlier versions, we are not having this resource database. The main intention of SQL of a resource database, the main intention of creating this resource database and keeping it in a hidden stage or in a hidden phase is that actually, in earlier versions of SQL Server, this resource database is also in the master database. And from the 2005 version, this master database and resource database got separated. Why? Because they got separated is whenever we are trying to start the instance, or whenever SQL Server is trying to boot the instance, the startup parameters and the information that is related to booting or starting the SQL Server will be in master database. And this resource data, when the resource database is also in master database, it is taking a lot of time to start the instance or shut down the instance, or when we do activities like online or offline or something, in the recovery process, it is taking some more time, because it is having already the boot up information and the starting configuration file information, and again these information, the patching or upgrade or the maintenance, the version information, all these information will be in resource database. Due to this, the SQL Server is it means like decreasing the performance, like while starting the SQL Server instance itself. Due to this, to overcome this kind of situation, what Microsoft decided is just create another database like a resource database, which will be hidden database, and whenever we start the SQL Server, it will not show any impact on starting the SQL Server instance. So it should be as an event database. But if there is any necessity in any critical cases, those databases can be viewed. That's it. Until unless there is any necessity, this resource database should not be seen or visible to the uh, users or SQL Server uh, users. It means like just to improve the performance while starting the SQL Server or while stopping the SQL Server instance, this resource database was introduced by Microsoft, and it was kept as a hidden database. Okay. And another point that we have to know with respect to this system databases is like these databases cannot be dropped. Actually, I have created now create database sample one. Okay, I'll say drop database sample one. See, command executed successfully. And if I say use sample one, if I try to use this or access this information or database, it will not show you again. Database sample one does not exist. In the same way, if I try to drop the database, drop dot database master, see here, we cannot drop this. Cannot drop the database master because it is a system database. Or if I say alter database name master set offline, see here. Option offline cannot be set in a database master. If not so, see MSDB, I'll say. Option offline cannot be set to in database MSDB. Which what Microsoft is saying that the system databases contains metadata. As this system databases contains metadata, so we cannot modify, or we are not allowing anyone to modify these system databases other than the location modification. We are not going to allow any user or any SQL Server uh, users to mm, take offline or online or drop or to perform any activity on these system databases, because these system databases contains the metadata with respect to the SQL Server, like the automation information or startup information or uh, temporary information or something. Hence, because it shows the impact. It means like what I will do is, if I'm being able to modify this master database, what I'll do, I just change the configuration information inside the master, and it will be a clumsy again. The SQL Server or Microsoft cannot recognize what changes I have done. Okay, it means like Microsoft also will not be able to provide the solution to us. So what Microsoft is saying that you cannot take offline or attach details, or you cannot drop the system databases. You cannot do anything on the system databases. If you want to perform any kind of activities, you just create your own user databases and you do your own activities to store the data or to store your organization information or anything. Okay. And the another important one that we have to consider here is all the system databases contains all the system databases contains the metadata. Okay. Again, metadata is not like all the system databases contains only a particular same metadata. One system database contains with respect to one portion of metadata and another system. It means like master database contains the startup or boot up information or configuration files information. MSDB contains automation information, and model database contains information to create a new database, and TempDB contains the information like temporary tables or temporary information, and resource DB contains the information which is related to patching or upgradation or version or build numbers. Okay, and these system databases cannot be taken online, offline, comma. We cannot also perform attach detach activities on the system databases. Whereas we can perform all these activities on our user databases. Okay, and We cannot also, it means like we are, as you are new to SQL Server, we cannot perform high availability concepts like we cannot implement. We are having high availability concepts like log shipping, uh, mirroring, clustering, replication, always on. We are having some high availability features in SQL Server, and you will be coming to know about this, all these high availability features in our in our further sessions. And we cannot configure or implement high availability or HADR, any kind of HADR concepts with respect to these system databases. But we can modify the location of all the system databases. I'll show you practically all these things. Okay. And we cannot also change the ownership. And very important point is like we cannot change the ownership or collisions or settings of the system databases. Okay. And this is what we are having with respect to the system databases. And I'll show you practically. But we can modify the location of the system databases, but we cannot do any modification inside. Just it means like if my system database while installing, I have done is like I install my SQL Server in E drive, okay, and the master database will be created in the uh, E drive, okay. And in this case, my disk is running out of space. I want to move my master database or MDF to uh, F drive or D drive or any other drive. Okay. Then in that case, we are having an ability to move the databases from one location to another location, but not to modify the information which is having inside the database. It means like the metadata will not cannot be modified, just only the location we can move. Okay. And these databases cannot be bring online or offline or something we can do. See, but we can bring the databases online or offline if it is a user database. See, I'll say what I'll do is see this is an user database and I'm creating alter database name sample one set offline and being able to set the database offline or online. Okay, and see you will not be having any feature on the system databases to make it online or offline. See here. But whereas on user databases, you'll be having take offline, bring online. All these options you will be having on the user databases. Okay. Okay. And we cannot change the ownership of the system databases. And we cannot also perform any kind of high availability concepts like log shipping, mirroring, or clustering, replication, or always on. The main reason that why Microsoft is not aligned to perform high availability or the disaster recovery concepts, implement the HADR concepts on the system databases is as they contain metadata. Means like these HADR concepts are providing the privilege is they maintain the same copy of data in another instance. Whereas log shipping, mirroring, or clustering or replication, clustering maintains a complete instance or replication or always on. What this log shipping, mirroring, replication, and always on will do is they maintain the same copy of data on other instance. If the master is copied on the other instance, the metadata will be modified there. It means like so. Due to this reason, what is the reason you cannot modify the data and you cannot view the it means like you cannot do anything on the database. What is the need of having a backup and to configure HADR concepts like lock shipping, mirroring, replication, or always on any kind of system database? There is no use to do such kind of things. Due to this reason, and there is no use of maintaining the same metadata in another instance also. So due to this reason, Microsoft is not allowing us to uh, do any kind, implement any kind of uh, high availability or disaster recovery features on our system databases. And we cannot change the ownership. Only SQL Server uh, is having the capability to have the ownership on these system databases. Okay, and the more to discuss about the system databases is like. We have discussed all like system databases, and I'll show you one thing. These system databases will be stored in MS SQL data. It means like I'll show. See, my SQL server is in C program files. SQL server is 2016 and my instance name is inst1 MS SQL 13.inst1 MS SQL data. This is a location where our system databases will be there. Master DB master log, model DB model log, MSDB data, MSDB log. This is report server. Okay. See temp.db. See here, you are having temp.db files or four. As we have discussed, like in our earlier version, in our earlier classes sessions itself, like the temp.db creates the number of data files, how many processors you are having. It is a new feature from 2016. See, I am having four CPUs here. Okay, four temp DBs will be created automatically. Data files means like what SQL Server, what Microsoft is saying that to improve the efficiency, to improve the efficiency, um, what Microsoft is doing to improve the efficiency of the SQL Server instance, so that the disk space or something information or to improve the efficiency of the SQL Server instance, what Microsoft is doing is that it is storing the temporary data with respect to multiple data files, and the data files will be creating according to your CPU numbers. Why? Because the performance will be improved to retrieve the data fast. Okay, and here we are not being able to see any resource database. We are being able to see model, master, MDB, and MSDB. As Microsoft said that it is a hidden database, you will not be able to see. See the Microsoft SQL Server and our instance and the MS SQL and data. This is the location where our system databases will be stored. Okay. Other than this location also, SQL Server is storing the system databases information in bin. In bin also will be having a data folder. Right. Bin. Sorry. Bin templates. See here, MSDB data, model log, model data, master log, master data. Why? Because if there is any situation like something happens and these databases gets corrupted in this location, and to we are having an ability to rebuild the system databases from this location. See, okay, Microsoft is providing another advantage, like to restore the databases or to rebuild the system databases from this location. Okay, we can also rebuild the system databases if some scenarios. uh, we come across such kind of scenarios like whenever the system databases gets corrupted and it takes more than 2 hours or more than 1 hour to rebuild a master database. We are having some multiple scenarios. I'll share you the document and the process that which we do in rebuilding the system databases. Again, it will be the same scenario for MSDB and other system databases. And with respect to master, it will be another scenario. And in that scenario, if I'm having a master database backup, it is one scenario. And if there is no master database backup, it is again another scenario. I'll share you the document. It's a lengthy process. And I will just show you how to modify the system databases location and how can we see, how can we start this instance again from the our new location. Okay. Here I can also, we are also having a privilege to see this resource database. We are having MS SQL system resource. You can see here, wait, MS SQL. See, this is the system database. See, this is the system database log file, and this is the system database log file and data file. MS SQL system resource we are having here. See, this is the system database. Okay. We can also see the database information like location like sp underscore help db master. We can see the location from our SSMS wizard also. See here, master log. Oh, sorry. See this showing. The master is stored in this location. See, if I copy, if I go to this location, it will be the same again. Just I have so shown you now. Sorry. See here. Okay. And this is a LDF log file information with respect to master storage information MSDB. It's also the same. What Microsoft is saying that as a best practice, store model master MSDB in the same location, but MDB different drive, where you are having the highest resolution for the drive. It means like the data is better that if the disk is installed, if the disk is created in storage devices like SSD, not like SATA hard disk, because it has the highest resolution RPM. It means like the faster way to retrieve the data, to access the data, to accept the data. The Microsoft is suggesting, and it is also suggesting to create the MDF in S drive and the log file in L drive to have to maintain some hierarchy. Microsoft is suggesting to create MDF in SQL in S drive like that, and log file in L drive and MDB in D drive likewise. Okay. If we are having some large kind of customers like that, if it is like with respect to banking domains, what they will do is they'll create user databases in one location, system databases in one location, MDB in another location, uh, LDFs in another location, system databases LDF in another location, and user databases log files in another drive. Location in the sense not location. I'm saying drives in the different drives. Okay. And in the same way, if I try to see the resource database, see here what it will say. Incorrect syntax near resource. But when I say master, it showed. See, due to this reason only, what Microsoft is saying, resource database is a hidden database. You cannot see the hidden database, but we are having a ability to, we are having one command to see the system resource database files. Score alt files. See, wait. Let's execute and see. Dot all files. Okay, yes. Sys all files where dbid. Let's see. 2327767. Let's see. Okay. See, this is the resource database. MS SQL system resource. MS SQL system resource .mdf.ldf data log dbid is 32767. This is the only maximum number of databases that you can create on a single SQL Server instance. 32767 number of databases you can create. That is the maximum number. To improve the efficiency, only this this system database resource database is placed in the last, because while starting or stopping the services, it should not show any impact on the system, on the SQL Server instance, the performance on the SQL Server instance. Okay. And see, I cannot modify the system database, this resource database from one location to another location, whereas I can modify the location of all other system databases. Cannot modify the location. As I said, now if there is any disk problem or something, we can modify the system databases in from one place to another place, but we cannot modify the resource database from one location to another location, whereas we can modify location of other databases and also user databases, that which we created by others, okay, by the users, okay. And we cannot, but we can copy and paste the resource database from one location to another location. Copy paste the resource database one location to another location. Okay. We are also having some in internet will xcopy command, you will be having move the resource database from one location to another location. Okay. I'll show you all these activities practically now. Okay. And another important point to know here is we have not discussed about this distribution database. We will discuss now. Okay. The important point to here is we need downtime location. To write modify the location, the system databases, but not required for the user databases. You got me right? Are you able to catch this point? Whenever we want to modify the location of the system databases from one to another, we require a downtime for the server for the instance. But if it is with respect to the databases like user databases, we do not require any downtime. Why? Because the system databases contains the metadata. If we move from one location to another location, that SQL Server cannot understand from where it should take that metadata. So due to this reason, what we are doing is that just after modifying the location, we will restart the services. What SQL Server will do is it will start the services from the new location instead of the old location, and it will start gathering the information or the metadata from the same location that which we modified with compared to the earlier location. Okay, and but it is not mandatory for the user databases. Just by taking offline and online of that particular database, taking offline and online of that particular database, the particular database we can do. Okay. And this tempdb will be always 2. It depends, or I think so changes, I think. We'll see what. Select the name, comma. Okay. See here. MDB will be 2. Model will be 3. MSDB is 4. Okay. Most of the times it will be same. 4. See. And what we have to consider, what we have to discuss, another important point before going to that modifying the location practically is whenever the system databases gets corrupted, we cannot means like uh, we cannot the system, the SQL Server instance will go down, or the services will be stopped automatically whenever the master database gets corrupted. And if the MSDB gets corrupted, we cannot be able to do backup restore or the automation activities, the maintenance plan, SQL Server agent will not be started if the MSDB goes down. And if there is any model database gets corrupted, you will be able to continue the services, but you will not be able to create a new databases. And the services goes down, to the model database got corrupted. If the services goes down, you will not be able to restart the services again. Your services will not come online. Why? Because the model database should create a tempdb. While starting the SQL Server instance itself, tempdb will be created, new tempdb will be created automatically. We have discussed what is model database on the template. It means on the same features of model database only tempdb will be getting created. As the reason that model database got corrupted, and tempdb will lost all its features, like it will not know how it should get created, and it will not get created due to this reason. And SQL Server will not come online because the model database got corrupted and tempdb will not be getting created. Okay. If the master database goes down but got corrupted, abruptly the SQL Server instance will go down. But if it is MSDB, with respect to MSDB, we will not be able to do any kind of activities with respect to maintenance plans or SQL Server agent or jobs information. All the automation information will not be done. Means like you have scheduled some maintenance plans like backup restore and all the things in your instance or with respect to your database. All these will be getting failed. Those activities will not be performed if the MSDB get corrupted. And if the model database got corrupted, you will not be able to create the new databases or the user databases in our instance. And if the services goes down after the model database got corrupted, and you will not be able to restart the services again. Why? Because the tempdb will not get created, because this, with the same template that model database is there, the tempdb should get created. As the reason the tempdb is not in a situation to get created, the model database, because the model database got corrupted due to this reason, and your sql server services or the instance will not come online if the model database got corrupted also. Okay. And we will just verify, like, how we can modify the system databases from one location to another location. If you are having any queries till now, you please let me know. Do you have any doubts or any queries? You please chat me. You please ping in the chat box. If not so, mm, any queries, just reply in the chat box. If not, shall I continue? If you want me continue, I'll continue. If not so, if you're having any doubts, please let me know. Okay, then I'll continue. Okay. And now we will do like the practically. I'll show you how to move the location of system databases and user databases from one to another. If there is any situation like yes, okay, no doubts. Okay, I'll move to the next scenario. Like, how can we move the system databases from one location to another location? Okay, see, I'll be starting with the model sp or msdb will go. Okay, see, this is my location of ldf and mdf of msdb. Okay, it's better we will store this information here, and to moving we can, I'll show you the new location by executing that. Okay, see here. Okay, and go to this window, new window. Okay, and what I'll do is, see, let's close this session. HDF resources. Oh, we have closed that. Okay, okay, let it be. What we will do is, now we are aware of the location that where this MSDB is stored. Okay, what we have to do is, initially we have to create one folder where we have to move this MDF and LDF of this MSDB in our desktop or in our machine, the physical location. what I have to do is I'll be creating. See, earlier it was in C drive, right? I'll be creating here C NST1 files. Okay. Mm. Here I am creating MSDB. Okay. In this location, I will move that MSDB MDF and log file LDF and MDF. I'll move this. I'll move that MDF and LDF to this location now and restart the services. Mm. But while performing any activity with respect to the system databases other than master, before moving the location of modifying the location of model database MSDB or MDB, we are having two kinds of scenarios to perform the activities or to modify the location of master database and other system databases. Initially, we will see with respect to with respect to other database, other system databases other than master model MSDB or MDB. I'll show you MSDB. You practice with respect to MDB or model. Okay. What we have to do is before modifying the location, we have to modify the location in the master database for the system databases other than master. Why? Because the master database is the place where this system databases or all the instance metadata will be stored, and all the boot up information or all the recovery information will be stored in the master database. If we initially modify the location in the master database of any database, which we are trying to change the location or modify the location, what master will do is it will start the resources or boot the information or the configuration files information from the new location that which we have modified. Okay. For that we are having the one command like it means not like this. Just we'll be having one command alter. You will get this command in the internet also, alter database, modify, alter database, modify, um, sorry, database name, modify, file name equal to, modify, file name equal to, see this is like the logical names here, file name equal to the logical name of data file. Okay. Where we are moving this the new location, it means like the new path that which we are trying to place. I try to move that means like okay. And, what I will do is alter database SDB, modify file name equal to SDB log. Okay, it means like this is location. This is not like that. This is the logical name of the log file, and sorry, we have confused here. Okay, this is the logical name of the log file and file name equal to, okay. See here we have created, right? I think I have to say SDB data and log or something. Let's verify. Okay. try to execute this. We are in master, right? You should be in master when you're trying to execute this command. Correct the syntax near file name. Also, oh, sorry, we have created here MSDB, right? Okay, I have to create like folders like data and log, I think so. MSDB.mdf. The db.la. Take this location for MSDB data file. Okay, and this location so as LDF. We'll see. The error comes only we will gain much knowledge. Okay. So database name. Sorry, this is like it should be separated with parentheses. Like we are modifying the file name here. Mm, yes, should be separated by parentheses. This file and name are separate here. Okay, that's why it is showing error to us. Just execute. This syntax near comma file name. It's correct. I will browsing the internet also. No issues, don't need to. Mm, yes, delete this and see. Okay, execute now. Yes. See the file MSDB data has been modified in the system catalog view. Okay, and what I need to do is I have modified this information. The file MSDB has been modified in the system catalog in the master database. Now what I will do is I'll just take the server or the instance offline. I'll stop the services and start the services. Now we can see the new location of our MSDB. Okay, I'll do is stop the services. Yes, sure you want to stop the services. Attempting to stop the services. Yes. But with respect to the user database, when we are trying to modify the location of a user database, there is no need of starting and stopping the services because it doesn't contain any metadata to modify the location. Just take the database, like right click on the database like this. I'll show you that practically also. So database is starting. Just take the database to take offline and bring online. That way you can modify the location of the user database. Okay, it's taking time to start the services. So you can take offline and bring online with if it is with respect to the uh, user databases. See now, earlier our location is in C. If I execute the same query now, the location should be modified now. See, can you say why it is not showing the location? Why? Because we did not give permissions to the location that which we have modified. Okay, see here, it will not show you the location. We did not give permission. E ANST1. This folder should have permission. Security. Users and user. I'm giving everyone instead of adding our instance name. Hello all. But in production, we should not give as everyone. Okay. Now it should show the location here. Recovery pending. Okay, we have modified the location. Uh, we have modified the location. It means like we are not having the privileges. It's showing recovery pending. We have to bring the database online to view the location, not the database name image db set online. Execute this command. Access denied, it is saying. Also database name set online. Let's see, wait, it is in suspect mode, I think so. Let's select Hmm. Status error. It's not showing. Yes, only. Hmm. TP name, comma status. Yes, status also in quotes. I think so. Yes, it will be in suspect. Database name set online. It should come. You're not wrong with the command. Hmm. Okay. I think this is a problem with respect to the SD files. This folder permissions itself. We had given full privileges, but not sharing. Change the permissions, authenticate users, edit, and we will do one thing. Take the SQL Server instance name, system DM underscore server underscore services. Server agent. Okay. Hello. Offline. Okay. Okay. It should be all right now. It's not coming. Access denied, it is saying. Access denied. So see here now, just now I just resumed the video because there is some error while changing the location. It means like while trying to view the location of MSDB, there is some misconception occurred like it did not come into online mode, it went into suspect mode because of the access denied permission. We have given permission, but it took some time to come online. Okay, and see alter database name MSDB set online. Now if I can show you the new location of the MSDB. See here, earlier it was in C, now it is in E. Okay, and uh, okay, and this is the way that we have to do for MSDB. And there is another procedure for master database. I will share this notepad to you. For the system databases. Critical. I'll document it and I'll document it and I'll send you. Okay. And for master, the only change that we have to follow with respect to master is configuration file. When we are having SQL Server services, this is our instance. I go to properties and startup parameters. The only change with respect to that and this is we have to change the location in the startup parameters for master. But for other system databases, it's not like that. We have to change the location in master, modify the location of the system database in master database, and later we will stop and start the services. But for master database, it's not like that. We have to change the location in the startup parameters because master itself contains the bootable information. Means like while while starting the startup parameters of the SQL Server will check while starting the instances master master database MDF, master database log file, and the SQL Server error log. It will check the location for these three locations. It will check the location of these three files and then it will start the services. Due to due to this kind of scenario only, we are changing the location of the startup parameters. What SQL Server instance will do is it will check the location of the startup parameters. The startup parameters are master database MDF, master database log file, and the SQL Server error log. Okay. What I will do is I'll create a folder here. Okay. Master. Master. Okay. What we have to do is we have to create a path we have created and we have to give access to that path, edit, and everyone, check names, everyone, hello, apply. Okay. Okay, we have given privileges to this folder. What we have to do is before copying these files, this master database MDF and LDF to this location, we have to change the location of the master database in the startup parameters initially. After that only, we have to before changing the location itself, we have to stop the services here because Whilst if the master data file and log file location has been changed, if we try to change the location of master file, master database MDF and LDF, SQL Server will go down again. Due to this scenario, so we have to come across such kind of situation. We should not come to that kind of situation. I have given the privileges to the folder of that master file, master database system, master database files, MDF and LDF, that which we are trying to replace. And now I'm stopping the services. After stopping the services, what I will do is I will copy these folders to that new location, master database MDF and LDF to that new location. Then I will change the location in the master in the startup parameters, and then I will start the services again. Okay. See here. See program files, Microsoft SQL Server, MS SQL 13 instance, MS SQL data, master data, master log, cut, E, NSD files, master. Okay. Mm, what I will do is I have to copy this folder first. We will do one thing. We will rename this folder master db. Okay. Again, I have to give the permission. Again, because the logical name is as master, it's edit and everyone check names. Okay. Hello. Yes, it's there. Okay. Mm, okay. List. What I'll do is I'll paste this location in my notepad. Again, not be a conflict again. Okay. This is for master. This is log file. This is last now. This change the see, let it be this master.mdf. Okay. From here I am modifying the location. Hyphen D for hyphen D for data file. See, hyphen D, it should be same. And here we should remove this -c. Okay, and the log file also same. Master log.ldf is same. Even else should be the same. We are not modifying our. We are not modifying the error log location. Let it be same. Do is master log. Mm, everything seems to be fine, right? I'm trying to update the location. Okay, apply. They will not take effect until the service is stopped and started. Okay, okay. I'll try to do is I'll try to start the services now. We are having a privilege on this, right? Okay. Even check names. Sorry. Everyone check names. Okay. We have the privilege already. Okay. I'll just try to restart the services. Now. It should come online. Yes. Mm, it's failing to do this activity because the boot up information is not there. Okay, I think the location that which we have placed is permissions also we gave. Shall we wait? Since it's not started, right? Okay. Okay. I think The naming convention, I think so. The
Yes,
naming,
yes,
the
yes.
naming convention. Wait,
Eh, Now it will come.
it's not modified here. Why it's taking C again? Just try to update in the same font. Okay, okay. It was updated. Apply. Let's try to start the services. It is showing the sound. It should come out. Yeah, as we got some error with respect to this master database, it's not coming online. I just resumed, stopped the video and resumed it again. Okay, and now we are able to see this master database in the new location. The only difference with respect to the master database and other system databases is while we are trying to change the location of the master database, modifying the location of master database, we have to modify that path in the startup parameters initially, and after that we have to stop the services. Before after stopping the services, we have to modify the location in the startup parameters. After that, we have to start the services. But with respect to other system databases other than master, we have to modify the path in the master database initially, and later we have to stop the services and start the services. As master database, modifying the location of master database gave some trouble to us. I just stopped the video and resumed it now. Okay. And what we have to do is again, we will see another system database to modify. Okay. Help DB sample one does not exist. It is same. Let's create.
Sample, bro.
Okay, okay. It's not there. I think so. Yes. Hmm. Okay, okay. Earlier, just we have set it to offline while executing that offline command. Sorry, set it online. Edit. Okay. See, our sample database user database. This is and this is in this location. What I'll try to do is just to try to modify the location of this uh, sample. This is like we need to have this just a 5 minutes task, nothing more than sample one. Okay, trying to copy the log file logically. Sample one logic. Okay, and what we will do is we have to create a folder here and then give some privileges. Sample one security edit and I am saying everyone check names. Okay, sorry. Authenticated users edit and everyone check names. Okay, as we have given permission to this inst1 files, these permissions are coming by default. Okay, did not create a sample one. I have created right security edit and everyone. Okay, hello apply. Okay, okay, okay. Now what we have to do is we have to copy this location. Before copying this location, we will do one thing. We'll just go to this sample one MDF and LDF, and we will copy paste this here. Okay. SQL 13.inst1 SQL data sample one. We'll just try to run. Just modify the location from here to here and then paste. Continue. I'm saying. Sorry, I did not bring the database offline. Restore this. Trans. Take offline. Okay. See. Now just try to modify the location. program files. So SQL Server, 13, SQL data sample one, sample one dot log. Okay, modifying the location. Next files sample one. Just paste the files here. Continue. Continue. Now what I need to do is just bring the database online or else. So see, alter database, database name sample one, set online. Trying to bring the database. Give privileges, right? It is taking some time to refresh the instance first and then try to. Yes, it's coming. Sorry, it did not modify the file name in the master database here
Yes, yes.
initially. Okay, let's take, let us take it to offline. Hmm. To bring this location, sample one and one. In, we have executed here this file name sample one.mdf sample one underscore log.ldf. Just execute this command, modify. Sorry, one sample one. It is modified now. We have moved the location. Just what we try to do is we just try to refresh the instance to bring the database online now. Okay. Okay. That is sample correct syntax. It is incorrect syntax means it should be in sample one. So let's try to it's in recovery pending. It's like it did not come online till now. So I'll do one thing. Alter database is name sample one set offline like immediate the database not being set offline.
Immediate.
Uh,
Immediate.
sorry, immediate. I'll just try to execute this now. I'll refresh the instance. Else, now it should come. Yes. Why? Because the database did not go offline perfectly. So it was in recovery pending. We are trying to when we are trying to bring it online. Okay, it's fine now. Okay, and see, this is about the system databases. We are having five system databases, and we forgot to discuss about this distribution database. Distribution database is the database that when we are trying to configure replication, a high availability feature that when we are trying to implement this high availability feature, um, when we are trying to implement this high availability feature replication to replicate the data from one to another, this distribution database gets created automatically. Okay, this is all about the system databases, master, MHDB, and moving the user database. That we have to remember the points here is that while modifying the user database, you have to set offline with the rollback immediate. If there are any settings, it will take offline perfectly. And the another important point we have to remember while modifying the location of master databases, we have to change the location in the startup parameters initially. Okay, after stopping the services. And while modifying the location of all other system databases except master is, we have to modify the location in the master database of that system databases in the master database initially, and then we have to bring the system databases offline and then uh, start the services. It will start from the new location. Okay. This is with respect to system databases. I'm also having some documents with respect to